Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced EP is an awesome pair of people, owner-operators of Lucy's Cafe North here in Northeast El Paso, Josh and Margo Lepe. Guys, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
I'm so excited to have you guys on. Not only because Lucy's Cafe is like a freaking staple here in El Paso. Family owned since I'm gonna say like from like 76. Is that when everything when she started it up?
72 is when
72. Oh,
72. So
oh.
she got some years on us. Yeah. So thank God. I mean, going on 50 years. So yeah, we're just keeping that torch going, keeping that fire going. I mean, it's an old fire, but just letting it burn, buddy. It's
Yeah.
still going. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Josh, talk a little bit about, the legacy of Lucy's Cafe. I mean, can you talk a little bit how it got started and how the Lepe family, the legacy, how it all started, man.
So grandma started in 1972 at the coffee shop right there on California and Mesa. So she took over a restaurant that was already existing there. A guy had that restaurant and he just didn't manage it well. He ended up leaving and she ended up like the customers themselves would be the ones that were like, let's go to Lucy's. We're going to go to Lucy's house. She hadn't even named it yet. So it was like really, it's a customer base. Like they're the ones who drive. They're the ones who pretty much made this happen. So they would say, "Let's go to Lucy's. Let's go to Lucy's." Once she had taken over the spot, and it just started from there. And it just from the machaca that she had started with the shredded beef and the eggs and the queso. She started that off, and man, did that literally light a fire because I mean, she was able to expand shortly after, maybe a few years after that to the King's X, and that has been something in itself. So it's been the little things have happened, big things have happened from small beginnings, and that we're just grateful that those small beginnings have happened from customers. It's all customer based, and we love our customers.
Yeah, no, it's a legacy. I remember going there since I was younger with my parents and especially working out there when I was with the media, Channel 4 and 9. We'd always go to the one right there in that small hotel, that first original location. We'd always go pick up. It was a great place to, not only was it quick, it was so good. Like, and then being living in Northeast and you guys opening your spot out here on Dyer. I was so excited, and I mean, we're kind of regulars. We go a lot of times. Just even if we go order to go, we're always ordering from you guys on the weekends. And
Yeah.
man, I'm just so grateful you guys are out here. Talk a little about cooking and learning the menu and the food. I mean, how did you get like to learning that, or how did that come about?
Well, I've had good teachers. My aunts, grandma, they've all were the matriarchs of the business, right? So it was pretty much do what they tell you to do. And you don't think at the time that grating cheese or grating hash browns is really anything, but in the grand scheme of things, those little things just added up to just a bigger picture. And I mean, if I was able to humble myself at that time just to do all the brunt work, but then now I'm seeing it how important all that brunt work was for it to produce, to produce the plate themselves. So it was, I mean, it took some years for me to get to where I'm at to actually be established here at the restaurant and the Northeast because yeah, it took a lot of growing pains. And we opened up a restaurant in the Sunland Park Casino outside in the track kitchen, my wife and I, and that's really what got us started into like thinking that what we have something here, let's do this. And that's when we took a chance in the Northeast, and the Northeast has been really good to us. I mean, when we started off at the Northeast, we had a coming soon sign, and we
Yeah.
were really being prepped, and we were like a month away, and people were going in there, and I was like, you know what, just come in, yeah, we'll feed you. We weren't charging them, we're just feeding them just because we had the availability to do that, and just to try to grow a customer base because we knew how important it was to touch our customers and to have them reach out to us like that. And we still see those customers still go in there like, hey, you know, I'm like, hey, those were one of our first customers, and we don't even want to call them that because we didn't even charge them at that time. We're hooking them up, you know, just to let them know that we're around, and we looking forward to serving the community. And it's been an eye opener. I mean, when my wife started with us, when we opened up, she was pregnant, and
Mhm.
I think one of the coolest stories that I saw was that we got so many gifts from our customers just because they saw that we were a growing family. And
Mhm.
I mean, just that's the nature of our customers who we have, that you know, the people that we've reached out, that they just showed us that kindness and love. And it's just it was just reciprocated in what we do and how to serve the plates with that love, you know, with that attention to detail, that, you know, that kindness of putting into what we are, our life and lifeblood is
Right.
our product, our plate. And if we enjoy what we're doing and we have good feedback, it's just a little ecosystem of just love. I mean, I can't explain it more than that. I mean, I'm just grateful to be on the other side of it. And
Yeah.
being a server is just, I mean, you're grateful to have those opportunities to meet people, to make those connections with people. And I mean, that's been one of the coolest things for me since we opened up in the Northeast. Just the community outreach, the outpour for us, for our family. And we, you know, continue to grow our family, and then they got to know our children. So that's been pretty neat.
Yeah, I think it's nice that they really have loved on us. And like he said, you know, we were given this opportunity, and it's actually the second time that Lucy's has been in the Northeast.
Mhm.
They
Right.
start, yeah, his
Yeah.
uncles 30 years ago, I believe.
Man, it seems like
I
that
think I
long
want to say
ago.
it's about 30 years ago that they were operating their own location a little further down from where we're at.
Mhm.
So a lot of that customer base actually came through, and they were like, "Hey, we're so glad that you're back." You know, the Northeast in itself is really growing. So it's funny, but something that comes to mind. So yeah, like I said, a lot of people were loving on us, and they were so happy that we were back. But then we created our own customer base,
Mhm.
and we really made connections with people. And what's funny is they themselves started to make connections. A lot of people go in there and they're like, it's like cheers in here, like from the old episode. And it's crazy, but all of a sudden people would be hollering from across the restaurant. We had regulars from day one that still go there, who everybody knows. You know, there's one gentleman who knew Josh's grandmother, who goes every single day now, and he
Oh
sits
wow.
right, you know, he sits right at the front. He greets everybody. So it's kind of come full circle in itself, and it's really nice to see that. I know before Josh's grandmother passed this year, she was really, really just proud, and we would go and tell her every so often, you know, about the customers that remembered her. And she loved that. She remembered them too. I mean, a lot, you know,
Mhm.
there's so many people, but she'd be like, oh, yeah, I remember something like that. And everybody has their little stories about Lucy's and the location. And it just, it feels like your grandmother's kitchen, really, like
Yeah.
the way that you walk in there, and it's just like, oh, this reminds you of, you know, home, or like you said, you know, going with your parents and things of
Yeah.
that nature.
Yeah, I was gonna, it's funny you say that because like you talk about other restaurants. It's weird to me, like Lucy's, like your location and any of the other ones, it doesn't smell like a restaurant. It smells like someone's cooking at home in their kitchen.
Right.
It's kind of weird. I don't know what it is, but every time I go to, especially your guys' they're on Dyer. It's like it's not walking into, it's not like a restaurant cooking smell. It's a restaurant. It's like a kitchen from your home smell. When
It's a
I don't know.
love.
It's kind of weird. I think someone's gonna you're gonna have to go experience it yourselves. It's so crazy, and that's weird that that's awesome that you bring up the other location that used to be on Dyer, because I remember going to that one too as a kid.
Yeah, and the jingle is taste the kindness.
Yeah.
So a lot of people ask us where that came from, and I know Josh can talk a little bit more about that. But that's really what it comes down to. I know Josh is big on how you treat your food comes out in
Mm.
how it tastes. So I think it's just pretty cool when you say that you're not the only one. We get a lot of people that go in there just for the camaraderie and for the
Yeah.
connection. And of course, the food is key, but it's funny how many people end up bonding and becoming really connected with us, and the stories that they tell us is just really nice.
Yeah. That if you wanted, Josh, talk a little bit about like the kind of like the jingle or the I guess you almost
Well,
like your slogan.
well,
Uh,
we're still working on that. I guess that's a work in progress, but like, yeah, I mean, I could say my dad started that, and I can't tell you where it came from. I really can't. I just know that it just sounds good. It's something that they wholeheartedly believe in, and it's, I mean, it's a way of life, and it's not just about our food. It's, you know, it's about how you live. You discipline
yeah,
yourself to be a better person, and just to be kind to yourself. I mean, I think when you live with a lot of resentment, a lot of anger, and a lot of those, you know, troubles of life, you know, you spread that out, and it's better to spread things of joy, things of kindness, you know, love, though,
hmm
you know, better fruits of that nature, and try to spread that out. And you know, you give that out, you know, you try to not infect the world, but try to spread that love with
yeah,
that plate. And so we were good to ourselves, and our cooks and everybody, all our employees, they all like to be there. They all want to be there.
mhm,
They laugh with each other. They're able to joke and bond, and having that kind of kitchen right there is really what builds the team. You know, the dream work is with teamwork, I guess,
yeah,
what this what they say is. But and it's true, because having my team, it's been, man, it shows. I mean, because when you have like a just one bad apple, it infects everybody else. But when you have somebody like everybody knocking on cylinders, everyone's
yeah,
got joy in their hearts. I mean, it shows, it flows. People are happy. We have better customer service. You know,
yeah,
there's no more frowny faces. You know, people
yeah,
are, we know we're joking around, and that's what we kind of bring to the table. You
yeah,
know, try to, like, we josh a lot with our with our customers, and we pick on them, and it's part of it. I mean, it's like when they say treat you like family, it's like, well, sometimes family treats you mean, because we love you. You
oh
know,
yeah,
we're so comfortable that we're able to tell you that, because we love you so much, and we have that with our customers. And it's, man, it's been pretty radical trying to see us do what we're doing, and it's working out.
yeah,
We're being able to continue business. And you know, I mean, I look for 10 more years, 15 years. I'm just looking at the long run. I don't think
mhm,
it's the short term anymore. Now we're looking at the long term, and really being a part of the Northeast. And I mean, reciprocated, you know, them accepting us. I mean, that's
mhm,
that if it's a love-hate relationship. You know, we gotta love each other. But you know, it's a Northeast, bro. They're a special group of people out there. And
yeah,
I think that's what makes the Northeast, I think, much more special than any part of town.
yeah,
I mean, Northeast is it's just it's a unity, it's a family there. They're tight. You know, there's a lot of veterans, and everybody has the same kind of struggles, and they understand it more. And it's, I mean, the stigma of El Paso in the Northeast, I think they've already embraced it. Like, yeah, we're the ghetto side, we're the Northeast, whatever. We All the bad stuff happens here, but it's really not. It's just what, you know, what's being produced out there. But the family, you know, the people there, I think it's true to their nature that they're much more bigger than what the stigma is. And I think that's what's missing in the Northeast. But it's there. You know, no, if you live there, you just, you know,
yeah,
if you're on the other side of town, you don't know the Northeast. And
no,
the Northeast is genuine. It's got good people there. And you know, I love the Northeast. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
I
Yeah,
agree.
there's definitely a heart of El Paso in the Northeast. And something cool that I do want to mention too is that during COVID, what's interesting is that, so we started when I was pregnant. So now we're going on, our son's going to
Eight
be 8.
years,
So actually 9 years,
9 years.
9 years, and they've flown by. I mean, I call it our third child, because it is a lot of work. But I remember, you know, we would print flyers, and then, you know, I'd kind of, man the fort, and Josh would go around and just hand out flyers to get to know people. And that's how we kind of drew our own people in that relate to us and that knew us and that saw us growing. But while COVID hit, you know, everybody was struggling, or not everybody, but a lot of people were
Yeah,
struggling, especially restaurants. They were closing. And what's pretty cool is that we ended up expanding the business next door. They ended up closing. So we were able to take over that location and expand, and we grew twice as much, if not more.
yeah,
So it was really just the blessing in itself of what it's been to us. as much as he works and as hard as he works, you know, it really does bless our family, and it's an incredible gem. And what do you call it? A gem in the rough.
A diamond in the
A
rough.
diamond
Diamond in the
in the rough.
rough.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like it's crazy, but it's a little gold mine, as far as how many people we get to know and everything that we see.
I think
Yeah.
the I think the cool thing about expanding though, I call it my Jesus story, is that we expanded, we had done the floors, we had painted the walls. I didn't have any tables and chairs. So I'm like a month away from opening up the next door, and I don't have anything. I'm going on Facebook Marketplace. I'm looking for whatever just so I could have tables and chairs. And my dad's like, don't worry, just wait, just wait. I'm like, oh my God. So I waited 2 more weeks. So I'm like 2 weeks away from opening up. I still don't have anything. We get a call from Village Inn on the west side that they went under. They're changing the ownership to Buttersmith. They said, do you want to pick up stuff? Hell yeah. The 2 truckloads
Nice.
full of everything that they offered to give us. 2 truckloads.
Booths, tables,
I mean,
kitchen stuff.
everything
Oh,
that
wow, that's awesome.
the tables and chairs. So I shipped them over there, unloaded it, not knowing what I had, right? So everything that I had married perfectly in there, like if it
It
already,
just matched.
like if it it already been designed. And the thing that just floors me was the color combinations of the booths and my walls. They were brown and orange, and the booths are orange. It just goes adjacent with what the walls were. So I just knew at that point, it's not my business. This is God's business. He's the one
Oh,
who's
that's
running it.
cool.
It's his hand on this business. I do what he tells me. He instructs me to do it, and I do it. And it's producing much fruit. I mean, it's brought in so many customers. I mean, the people that work for me. I mean, a lot of good connections that I have just from that. So I just know that I don't have to worry because he's in
Right.
control. He's the one running that store. And I mean, if that's not, I mean, that that's not an aha moment, you got to check it out. I mean, you've
Yeah.
seen it
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
The brown and orange. I mean, you can't make something up like that. I mean, if I measured out a piece of wood twice, I'll give you two different numbers. I mean, there's no way I could have done this myself, and it came out as perfect as it did.
That's
And so
so cool.
I just know that that's God's way. That's how he does things, and
Yeah.
he knew it before I needed it, and so it was already there. I just needed to wait and just wait on the calling. And I think that's the hardest part, just waiting on the calling. Because sometimes we're really eager to jump and do something,
Hmm.
and we don't have that direction yet. And so when you get that calmness and that stillness in your heart, and you just feel like, okay, it's gonna come through. Just don't worry, and it'll happen. And when it happens, you're just like, whoa,
Oh, that's so
it
cool.
happens. And I mean, and then me being a worrisome person, I got my tables, I got my chairs. I'm like, okay, great. Oh my God, I don't have any staff members. That week, I think my leeches, unfortunately, they had closed the one further down on Hondo Pass, and I
Mhm.
was able to capture two of their servers. And it just came into place that it all my needs were met and demanded. You know that there's always going to be help. God knew what I was going to need, and boom, I had the two servers ready, and I was ready to open day one. I mean,
That's so cool.
I didn't have to wait. I was right there on my mark. So I mean, I just know that so long as I'm pleasing to him, he's gonna help me out and
Yeah.
do that work. So I mean, I live for him.
Yeah,
I,
no, there's actually definitely a hand of favor, because even before we opened the Northeast location, he was still at the King's X.
mhm.
And I couldn't believe it. You know, I think we were maybe a couple years into our marriage, and I couldn't believe that at that time, it was like a 40-year-old business, didn't even have a website. And I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, you got to come up with the ages, you know? So I reached out to a friend, and we were able to, he helped us with our website. So that in turn ended up helping us when we did open the Northeast location. Cause I mean, now everything's done on the internet, you know?
Mhm.
But I couldn't believe how successful the restaurant has been for his family without, you know, just without a website in itself. Is it speaks volumes. So I was like, we got to do something about that.
Well, when we started dating, I think that's when Chef Aaron Sanchez, came down to El Paso, and he recorded at the Lucy's Cafe West,
Mhm.
and he did the taco trip.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
that really put like, wow, one thing I would say when we were still at the King's X, when we just weren't I just didn't know what. I was like, we have something. I'd always say, man, I would love to be in the name of Chico, to be up there, before I even happened. And then and that taco trip, they named three restaurants: Lucy's, Tacoholics, and Chico's. And I was just like, oh my God, like it's happening, like we have, we really do have something, we
Yeah.
could work with something. And then just shortly after, I mean, what, a couple of years ago, we did the Texas bucket list. We were featured in El Paso. That was really neat.
And then just a few months
And
ago,
then
Texas Monthly.
yeah, then we did one at the
Yeah.
Texas Monthly with the taco talks with Jen, and that was pretty neat too, because they featured six restaurants across all of El Paso. I mean, all
Yeah.
of Texas, and they
Dang.
featured one restaurant in El Paso, and they featured Lucy's
That's
Restaurant
some of the
Cafe.
best tacos, and he can tell you a little bit about the tacos Antonia, which is another signature dish in
Oh yeah.
addition to the machaca, which is a pretty cool story too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was by an accident that my aunt just came to, like, she saw a lady, one of our prep, making a salad, and she's like, let me get this salad. And then she saw the cebrada taco, let me put that in there, and then let me put an avocado slice, and then let me put a some sour cream, and then let me spice it up with these spices that I use, because she used to spice up the tostadas with the salsa. She used to spice it up with certain spices. Well, let me put that spice on this taco shell. And people started looking at that and say, "Hey, I want that taco. What is that taco?" Well, that's a Tony's taco. That's her taco. Well, I want that. Well, like we said at the
Her name
beginning,
was Antonia, so
Antonia.
they
Doña.
call Tony's Taco, but
And
Nice.
like we said at the beginning, the customers are the ones who really have set the plane for us, so that we're gonna call it this. So then it was called Tacos Antonia, and we just, the customers wanted that, so we just stuck with that. And the customers are the ones who have really helped us name our plates and name our dishes, because that's just been,
That's
it's what they want. It's the drive. That's what they're looking for, and we know,
yeah.
just trying to serve that customer base. And we think we have something good with the machaca and the tacos Antonio. I would say so.
I, I do have to say, so I've been to Lucy's countless times. And I've never had the taco Antonio.
wow, you have to try them.
Well,
I I
They
think
are
I've
like,
I
oh my
I've
God.
have my go-tos are the menchaca, chilequiles or the chilangas, and
yeah.
also the tacos. And then the other ones like I also like, I mean, those are like my go-tos. I even like, or I'll usually sometimes order a side of queso too with the chips, because I mean that's my go-to stuff. And I apologize for not having those before or
No,
yet.
you have to try
Well, now
them.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I had a customer just this morning, this afternoon. He's like, "What are these tacos? I heard these are house tacos." And then the guy that he had sat him down and said, "No, they're really good. They're tacos, Antonio. You got to try them." And the guy was pumping up more than I was. Like he was doing the sale for me. I'm like, God. I was like, "Do you need a job, bro? You're doing it really good." I went
Marketing
back.
job there.
I was kind of scared. I was like, well, the guy was kind of eyeing it. He's like, yeah, they look good. And I went back to the plate. They were empty. They were gone. They licked the plate. I was like, were they good? Like, oh, they were good. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
nice. I
the sigh of
well,
relief. So, you just trying to keep that going,
well,
trying to
I,
new customers.
yeah, I know what I'm ordering next time I go. So heck yeah. It might not be the only thing I order, because usually we don't order just one thing.
In
So
addition to,
yeah, I'll
They're
probably end up throwing in
so
the tacos Antonia, and then probably usually like probably the menchaca burrito usually. So if I
well,
don't get menchaca, just the menchaca plate, you always get like the burrito, because it's like I gotta have it when you go. You gotta have that when you go to Lucy's.
yeah, yes, sir.
So
That's it.
let me ask. I'll ask you guys this. What is your favorite thing on the menu? If you can, if Margo and Josh, what if you have to pick one thing off the menu?
Well, let me answer her favorite, and then it's
Oh,
mine, and let me see if it's correct.
oh,
Because
it's like like the newlywed game. Here we
oh
go.
my
All
yeah,
right,
God.
I
let's
think I
go.
could. There will be two, but I think her top choice, because she always goes with there, are green chicken enchiladas or huevo rancheros. Those are her top two.
And the tacos Antonia.
Okay, I was gonna say
I
that.
just don't eat them because I just want to enjoy them and like savor them every
Right.
time I get them. So the green chicken enchiladas, I can eat those like every week.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the tacos
Huevo
Antonia, I just
rancheros,
have to
she had
like
that.
have them every few
My
months.
third one would have been caldo talpeño, because she eats that often too. So
Everything's so good. And I don't just say this because it's ours.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to me how I just feel like, man, our food is so good. Like,
Yeah.
and I wasn't big on Mexican food prior to getting married, but I don't, something about the, like you said, like the cooking
Hmm.
and everything they put into it, from the salad into the tacos Antonia. I was like so intrigued by it because I had never tasted something like that, because it's got like, it's a cabbage salad
Mm.
and then they spice the tacos, and so it's just like a small little twist on things that I was like, wow. And then the talpeño, I don't know if you've had that. That's a chicken soup, but we also put a twist on it with chipotle, melted cheese,
Nice.
and
Avocado
and
slice.
avocado slices. So it's just
I
like,
plan on selling a
man,
lot this next couple of days
Next
with this
couple
yeah,
cold.
days, it's gonna be
yeah,
cold.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this cold weather since July, bro. I mean, I've been waiting for it. So, God has favor, and He knows what He knows what we're able to do, and
he knows people like menudo too.
oh
So
my God, our menudo sales are just crazy on the
we
cold
sell
days.
menudo every day, and a lot of people don't know that, but people
Oh,
were
that's crazy.
requesting that. Usually we would just sell it on the
On
weekends,
the weekend.
and people just wanted it daily. So we were like, well, we might as well make it daily. Got to give the
Yeah,
people what they want.
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. My aunt and uncle, they're retired, and they help us out a lot with our kids, and then with my little ones, and they go they're early risers, so they usually go. They're usually there like once or twice a week at least. 'Cause my uncle loves they. I think my uncle loves the huevos rancheros.
Yes.
And I know my aunt likes them in Chaca, and then she'll get different things because she likes to try everything. But they're there like at least once a week usually.
That's
Yeah.
music to my ears, brother. I love it.
The
No,
machaca is just very hearty. So I always
Mhm.
tell people, like, if you're gonna finish it, that and the Lucy burger. Oh my gosh. If you
Oh
haven't tried
yeah,
the Lucy
it's
burger,
been a
oh,
while.
that's also another good one, because
Yeah.
it's
Well,
got the double
you
patty.
gotta have a second stomach for that one. You gotta have to be ready
I
for that one.
honestly think we should have a second episode to have you guys on again, just talk about the rest of the menu because
Yeah,
everything's so
yeah, I'm not
good.
even mad at
It's
that.
crazy, but before we got on here, I wanted to count how many items were on the menu. But so I was like, no, we're gonna get on in 5 minutes. I wanted to go look up and count because our menu has expanded. I don't think
Yeah,
any of the other locations have as many items as we do.
No.
Because I think every year he like adds something new.
yeah,
Like we added the SOS over the last couple of years.
Oh yeah.
nice.
And
People,
another customer driven based
yeah,
menu item that I was like, really, really? And my God, it's a veteran thing, it's
Yeah,
it's they love that stuff, and we got a market, and we're just there to serve that market. You know what I mean? That
yeah,
that's also a community that doesn't get as much love as they should. So
mhm,
it's kind of nice for them to go in there, and it's crazy, but they like congregate in there and they all
yeah.
share their own stories, and it's just really neat to see how many people this little, you
I
know.
call it the Northeast VA.
Yep,
We're take care of your meds and all that stuff there. We'll listen to your
Well, we
yep.
won't do all that, but yeah,
problem.
Yeah,
we
my
just
aunt and uncle always say that they like, when they go, it's usually the same groups in the mornings that usually go that they'll usually always see, and I mean
Yeah.
that's a good thing because that's usually the regulars and stuff like that. And
yeah.
so that's
That's
so
Every
awesome.
cool.
single day, every
Yeah,
single day, I can count like on both hands how many people go every single day
yeah,
just to like meet up there and
that's
have
so cool.
breakfast. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell them, I was like, hey guys, I can't be that good looking. You guys have to see me every day. So when you guys come in here every day, and
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
they're
No,
there.
but yeah, you so it's Lucy's Cafe North. You guys are located at 10,025 Dyer in Northeast El Paso. You guys have your website going. What was the website again? I'm so sorry. I totally
Lucy'sCafeNorth.com.
awesome, Lucy. And then you guys are also on Facebook, and
And
you guys have Instagram. I'll make sure I put all the information in the description below. That way, people can start following you, see the pictures. So that way, when they're flicking through social media, they can get hungry, seeing all the pictures of the food. 'Cause I
yeah,
was doing that right now, going through your menu, the website, just to check in. I was like, oh man, that's not fair.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
hungry.
That
So
that was
I mean,
our
it's
menu. Our website creator was writing down all the stuff. He's like, God, I'm only half the page and I'm already hungry. Well, yeah, well,
yeah.
that's what you're right. That's what we're trying to do.
Don't worry, we'll probably be there this weekend. So yeah,
Oh, you know what?
We look forward to seeing you and serving
yeah,
you.
yeah. No, I gotta get those tacos. So
Good.
Yes.
and then so I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. We'll have to have you on again so we could talk more about the menu, especially if you guys do any expansions on the menu, anything new. Uh, maybe I'll have to go down and do some testing of any new menu items. You let me know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
We always
sacrifice
do
and
testers.
do some taste testing.
Customer outreach,
Yeah.
some
Right?
Yeah, we need
And then
that.
just so you know, like about the Northeast thing, usually we tell everyone that doesn't live in Northeast that there's gangs and horrible people out here just to keep the people away so there's not so much traffic like the East Side.
Yeah, yeah, I guess we could say
Yeah,
that.
no, we're awesome. And then just also on another note about, joshing and picking on each other in the restaurant. You guys do that to me all the time when I come in with my Chiefs gear, man.
Yeah, that's true. Good luck to you guys this year. I'm rooting for you guys. Good
Oh
luck
yeah,
to you.
that'd be cool for a three-peat, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it should happen.
No, Margot,
The
Josh,
refs will make it happen.
yeah, I know, right? Right. We'll see what happens. It's already in the script. That's what everyone says. It's all rigged
Taylor
anyway.
Swift said so, so you're
No,
welcome.
well, Marco, Josh, I really appreciate you guys joining me.
Thank you.
I'll let you guys go so you can get back to the kiddos. Again, it's Lucy's Cafe North, 10,025 Dyer. I'll put all the other information in the description below. And is there anything else you guys like to say or add before we end today?
No, man. Thank you so much for having us. God bless you, bro. Thank
Same to
you.
you guys. You guys have a good night. Stay warm. It's gonna be cold next couple days. See if I can put an order in for the
Caldo
well,
talpeño.
yeah, for sure.
We got you.
Thank you
We got
guys so much. You guys have a good one.
you too.
Okay.
Take care, Ray.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.